Did he just knock something over with his butt?
He like pushed the bucket.
I've spent so much time over the last few months focusing on all of the other rooms in the house that I've really neglected the living room. For the most part, it was done, but it's really kind of a mess right now. And if I want to decorate for fall, and then of course subsequently Christmas, I need to clean the living room first. I posted to social media to see whether or not you guys actually wanted to see it, and the votes overwhelmingly was, yes, please show us the real life. Show us what your living room actually looks like before you clean it. Today we're gonna clean with me, and I think we should just get started.
That was so much buildup for not a dirty living room.
It's dirty. Is it not dirty?
It's like a messy coffee table and like a pile by the door.
It's dirty. Is it not that dirty?
No.
While David doesn't seem to be super helpful for my anxiety, he's actually pretty helpful with cleaning. So to start cleaning this, I just took care of the couch because it seemed like the largest piece of furniture in the room that would give me the most relief right off the bat. I don't know about everybody else, but our living room really is the place where we live. We do so much in this room. Sometimes I edit down here. We have, quick lunches in the living room a lot of times, just kind of hanging out. And so stuff just kind of gathers everywhere. Right by the door, when stuff comes in or when stuff is ready to go out, this is kind of the staging room for all of that. So there's bins in here that need to go to other places. There's stuff that needs to be donated, stuff that needs to go back to my parents' house. And it's just kind of a dumping ground for everything. Emerson was actually a huge help during this whole process with taking stuff kind of up and down the stairs where it needed to go, or out to the car, or out to the recycle. And I think the key to cleaning up a large mess when you have anxiety is actually getting everybody involved and saying, okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go through the whole room and figure out where things need to go. Your job is to take them and put them where they belong. That was a huge help. I get really bad anxiety when I have to tackle a huge mess. So having their help was really, really great in helping to alleviate some of that. One of the things we decided really needed to happen was anything that didn't belong in the house actually needed to go into the car so that it was able to be taken wherever it needed to go while we were out and about, so that there was no excuse if we drove by Goodwill to drop off the stuff that needed to be donated, or if we drove by my parents' house for the stuff that needed to go there to go back. So once it was in the car, it was out of the living room and it was on its way to where it needed to go. Knowing that I was going to put more decor on these walls, I had actually gathered a bunch of stuff I wanted to put on the walls and kind of just shoved it underneath of the TV stand. And when I pulled it out, it was so dusty. So I grabbed my Norwex dusting mitt and just kind of went to town on the TV stand and got all of the dust that had collected on there off. I will say I am terrible at remembering to dust things, and that's probably not the best for a husband with really bad allergies and a kid who has asthma. But since I got these cleaning cloths, it has gotten so much easier to remember to dust, and it's easier for Emerson to dust as well because he doesn't feel like it's a chore when he can put on this fun little mitten and just touch everything in the house. So Since rearranging this room was actually a temporary solution, we still had the sliders underneath the legs of this TV stand. This thing is insanely heavy. Every single one of those drawers has board games in it. There's 2 huge drawers inside with movies. And so it's just super, super heavy. And those poor furniture sliders were so flat by the time we got them out of there. Now that everything is put away, though, we are going to go ahead and start cleaning, and we're going to dust everything from top to bottom using the Norwex dusting mitts. It made everything really easy. Emerson didn't have to deal with a spray cleaner. I wasn't worried about him inhaling any chemicals. He just got the cleaning mitt and started wiping down all of the art on the wall. And I did the same on the TV stand side while David worked on getting some weird gunk off of the TV screen. When we're doing a deep clean of the house, one of the chores that is strictly Emerson's, because he's so bendy and close to the floor, is to do the baseboards. And normally I have him use, just an all-purpose cleaner on a rag and spray the baseboards down and wipe them. But this is the first time we've actually attempted to do the baseboards using only our Norwex products. I gave him the Norwex EnviroCloth with just some water on it and the dusting mitt, and he was able to tackle all of the baseboards and the windowsills with just those 2 things. No cleaner necessary, and he actually said that he thinks it cleaned better than when he uses the spray cleaner and a rag. So that was really cool. You guys, I know I'm going insane about these stupid Norwex cloths right now, but the dusting of the fan was so easy without having to deal with cleaner, and I used the window cloth on the glass for the fan, and I didn't know that the glass wasn't frosted before. So the only chemical products that we used in this space was actually to help protect this antique chair. This chair's over 100 years old, and we were able to get it recently at an insanely good price. So David did use some leather conditioner and some wood polish on this chair, and it looks so good, you guys. I didn't know where I was going to put it. I had no idea. My thought was to get it as a spare chair for the dining room for when we host holiday events, but I think it looks super cute next to this antique fan that I have right at the bottom of the stairs.
Back in March, we rearranged the living room to open it up so that Emerson had a space to practice his dance and stuff for theater. And we ended up really liking it in this setup because it really opens the whole flow of the house. And I've waited this long to move any of this art that's on the wall behind me, just because, like I said, I was focusing on other rooms and we really only did it as a temporary fix. But since we've decided to keep it in this format, I need to take some of the stuff off of this wall because it is like all behind the TV. You can't see any of it. So I'm gonna rearrange some of the art. I know it seems a little counterintuitive to rearrange all of the art right before I decorate, but a lot of the art for the fall will actually stay in its place. It won't be until Christmas comes that I actually remove some of my artwork and put up the holiday decor. So I'm going to get this stuff off the wall, get it moved around, and finish off the decorating of the living room that I never finished.
I didn't want to rearrange every single thing on the wall, so I just took off the stuff that was hidden by the TV or looked awkward on this wall now that the TV is here. And I left everything else and pulled out all of the nails. And you'll notice that I'm not filling any nail holes. I'm really just kind of taking the art that I'm replacing it with and covering up any nail holes that I have. just because I didn't want to deal with nail hole filling and then painting. And I think there's maybe 1 or 2 exposed nail holes that you really can't see unless you're staring at them. So I wasn't too worried about it. Emerson really liked to help figure out where things were going to go on the wall. He just kept seeing all the different art that I'd pulled off and put on the couch, and he was looking at things and holding them up to the wall and seeing if he liked it. So I really enjoyed having him help me with this process and getting his input, because this is his space too. You know, he uses this room. It's not just for looks for when people come over. It's a space that we're in all the time, and I wanted him to have things on the wall that were important to him as well. For this wall, my goal was actually not to have to move that shelf, and that didn't happen. I did end up having to move it over a few inches. The mirror is actually perfectly centered on this wall, and after I put up the other stuff on this wall, it just made sense to move the shelf over just a little bit. I like having the mirror on the wall because it does take up a considerable amount of space, but it also just kind of opens that wall a little bit. It's awkward to have the couch over in the corner, but to have the mirror centered above the couch actually anchors the couch in that space and makes it look more purposeful. Some of you are probably wondering where I get all the random stuff for my walls, and honestly, it's just stuff that I've collected over time. There's stuff I've gotten at Goodwill, there's stuff I've picked up at Hobby Lobby on insane clearance, there's things that I've created or made off of other things, and anytime I see a fun picture frame, whether it's at Goodwill or at Target, I will usually pick one up just so that I've got a random frame to use. And a lot of people will actually gift me different home decor items. The painting that's next to the large S is actually a painting from a street artist in Paris that David's grandmother gave to us. So that has special meaning, and I try and only put things on the wall that have a special meaning to them. I could probably go piece by piece on this wall and tell you exactly where everything came from. And it's because I don't pick up anything that I don't absolutely love or that doesn't actually mean something to me. This shelf on this wall, in fact, is a home interiors shelf from like the 1990s that my mom had hanging in her house for a very long time. So I can give you the history on almost everything on these walls and what meaning it has to me. And I think that's really the key to creating a space that you love, is having pieces that have a meaning to you and your family, and not just random, big box store kind of artwork that you can pick up at Walmart or Michael's and just kind of overload your walls with all this art that doesn't mean anything to you. Find some personal pieces.
Clean, and I really want to say thank you guys so much for encouraging me to do this by voting on Instagram and Facebook and for allowing me to include a clean with me on this channel. It's definitely not something I ever thought I would do. I'm not sure that I'll include a ton of them in the future, just because I try and do a little bit at a time so that things don't get as out of hand as they did in this room. But it's finally done, and it gave me an opportunity to get all of the artwork up on the walls the way that it needed to, now that the room has been completely rearranged. So I'm excited to get started with the fall decorations and get my house ready for all of the spooky Halloween times. So thank you guys again so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. We are less than 20 people away from hitting my first goal, which is 100 subscribers, and you are definitely the key to that. So please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Give this video a big like, and let me know down below in the comments whether clean with me videos are something that you want to see on this channel, or if you'd rather me stick to the crafting and actually redoing my home part of things. So again, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.